Okay, hello guys, it's Dom here from eSports News UK. I'm delighted to be joined today by Grant, Grievance, Rousseau. Thanks for joining us, Grant.
Thank you, thank you.
And Grant is obviously the new player development coach at CLG. I thought it was great. Thanks for coming on, Grant, because it's great we can
Thank
talk
you.
about the UK scene. You know, you started off in the
Yeah.
UK League of Legends scene, and now you've gone to the North American LCS. So,
Mhm.
congrats on joining. Maybe you could
Thanks.
tell us a bit about your background to start us off with.
So I came from the UK scene. Like I only got into esports like 7 8 months ago. I always watched LCS and stuff like that. I never really got into it. So I thought I'd start off getting into it with a like making organisation and a team about 6 or 7 months ago, called Last Remedy, which a lot of people have heard of, with a friend. And then like it just progressed from there. So Last Remedy didn't work out. Changed that. Moved to manager position at a team called Bulldog Esports, who were really good to me and really helped me, and we made a team there. And about a month ago, I sort of applied on a bit of a whim for the CLG player development coach job, thinking never going to happen, that kind of thing. And then 2 weeks later, I was out here working with the team. So it's been an unbelievably fast progression. It's kind of crazy.
I think that's particularly interesting, the fact that you've got into esports in terms of a job less than a year ago. You know, there are some people spending years wanting to be a coach, so maybe, well, first of all, I guess, what's it been like out in the US so far?
I absolutely love it here. Like the people and the players and the staff are obviously like really amazing. I've just always liked this country. Just everything's so over the top. How can you not like it?
Cool, okay. And so, yeah, maybe you could tell us, maybe you could give us a bit of advice for people out there. Did you applied on a whim, but I'm guessing there's a lot of people that apply for these kind of roles, and you got it. What kind of advice would you give to prospective coaches out there, or people that want to work in the top level of esports?
I think you've just got to make sure that like everything you do outside coaching, whether that's your job or hobbies or that kind of thing, you need to work out what skills from those you can bring to your role. So I think I was quite lucky because just like things I've done over the years, I was able to bring into like a coaching role, and that's what they take like. So they weren't almost too fussed about me. Oh, you've only been a coach for this, that, and the other, or like you've only managed a team for this, that long. They weren't fussed about that. They were more interested in the actual skills I have and what I've done outside to develop myself. So all I say to people is like, don't think you have to be stuck there coaching a team. That's the only thing you can do to be the best coach you are. You have to bring in everything else around you to improve yourself.
Definitely. And you've tweeted recently. It was funny because I kind of knew you were joining CLG, but you couldn't announce it. And you tweeted saying things like you were out driving, singing along to Ed Sheeran with Darshan, which kind of gave it away.
Kind of gave it away, yeah, a little bit.
How hard was that? And sort of what else have you been doing out there to bond with the players in the few weeks you've been out there?
I mean, it's been very fast here. So like, I was meant to work with the academy team for like a good couple months or so, but things have changed and they want me in the main team very fast now. So a lot of my bonding things just make sure we go out for like team dinners, and I've just been very present in their scrims and their practice, and like I've had the chance to do some one-on-ones with them now, which is kind of my role anyway. So now that's starting to happen. I'm just like, I'm that third member of the team. There's actually not that many staff here with the league team on site. Like there's only 3 of us, so it's quite close. Everyone's quite close now.
That's cool. And I'm interested that you're not just a coach, you're a player development coach. So maybe you could tell us a bit about that role, and do you have any other duties, management, house management or anything?
Sure. So outside the actual player development side, so I am like the team manager as well. So I do everything that's like admin related with Riot and with the team, and if there's anything the team want, I sort it, and like I run the LCS days, making sure we're there and what we're doing and interview. So I do all the managerial stuff, which is what I learned when I was back in the UK. And then from the player development side, so it's not with the game itself. Like a lot of the work I do is everything about the player outside the game that I can improve to help make them a better player and a better person. So things like their mentality, their communication skills, their relationships with the other players, everything that can lead into making them better in game effectively.
What's it like? What are the challenges there working with players of different nationalities? Because you've got a mix. You've got North American guys, and then you've got a Korean guy and a player from the Philippines as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm quite lucky because these guys are like the most stable team entirely in LCS. They've been together like over a year now, and they didn't change here, so they know each other very well. And like bringing me in as a result has been quite easy for me. I don't know. I just think when it comes across in the one-on-ones, like you just have to adapt your style to sort of their nationality and their way of thinking. I guess like they all have different backgrounds so they all learn differently and they all react to stuff differently. Some people are a lot more disciplined and can listen much better, and then other people much more creative and very good at giving feedback. So you just have to tailor your style to whoever it is you're talking to.
And what kind of reaction have you had from the UK scene and esports in general moving across? Because there are some people in the UK scene that have been working in it years and are still in the UK scene. There's nothing wrong with that. But, they might see you as someone who's come in, moved really fast to the top of the ladder and gone over. Have you had, have you had a good response from the UK scene? Have you had anyone been a bit snarky towards you, for want of a better word?
Well, actually, I've only had like really nice and really good responses, which I have to thank everyone who's done that. Like, I got a lot more. Well, actually, I didn't get a single negative response from anyone, although I guess people are just being quiet about it. But I got a lot more positive responses than I expected, and a lot of people messaging me saying good luck. So, like, really big thank you to those kind of people. I like to think that what happened. The people that happened with, like, our relationships are at least amicable now. Like me and Tundra are a lot more amicable. Like, yeah, we don't talk to each other, but we're not negative towards one another or anything. And stuff happened, but everyone's been really nice and really friendly, and so I'm very grateful for it.
And there may be people watching this that aren't familiar with the UK scene. So, in a nutshell, the first team you were with, Last Remedy, you sort of made them, I'd say, the most competitive team in the ESL UK Premiership. At the time, definitely, and brought along a lot of good players. You had Toaster, Rifty, I think, joined halfway through. You had Nutri join halfway through the season, and there was
Rousseau
two sort
as well was a big one.
That's it, Broxer, yeah, who's now at is it Fnatic Academy? Yeah, so he's done well as well. There was two sort of drama incidents that happened that I covered. The first one was you guys acquired Nutri from XL eSports, I think, on the last day of the roster locks, and that screwed up XL, and it looked like they were going to get forced out due to point ban, accumulating penalty points. And then the second one was halfway through the split where Tundra joined as a coach, right, as a sort of second coach, and there were some internal disagreements. Maybe you could tell us a bit about, and you sort of left the team after that, and, when I wrote that story, I reckon the audience, the readers, were quite split in the UK scene. Half of them were on your side and half of them were on Tundra's side, and there wasn't really many people that could see both sides. I could see both sides, but Tundra did end up pissing me off a little bit, so I guess, if I'm being honest, I lean towards you a little bit. But I hope we've made up now, Tundra and everything. But what did you learn from all that? Because the UK scene can be a dramatic place, even more so than LCS.
I think... Look, what happened, and like, I think at the time I was very much thinking with my heart, and I think Rifty summed it up the best in his like Twitter thing. I remember him saying something about like, Grant only wanted the best team, but in this case he let his heart take the control of him, and it wasn't the best decision. Like, I think the UK loves drama and it loves scenes and this, that, and the other, and it's very hard to ask everyone to be professional when there are no contracts, there's no money. Unfortunately, it's very hard to ask to be professional. I think that the scene just needs to start taking themselves more seriously. Like, this year, there's been so many people who've moved on to higher levels. You look at people like Deadly's gone to Misfits, Ferndog's gone to G2, Vodafone, even, like the castle, like I forget his name, Aaron, sorry, he's moved on to
the Medic, as he is now.
Yeah, the Medic now, as it was. Just like, there's like players, coaches, casters, like everyone is shown like they can move higher, and there's been players that've done that. So I think the UK scene just needs to take themselves more seriously and show, like, actually, guys, we are quite good. Like, we know what we're doing. Let's stop memeing ourselves. Let's stop taking the piss out of ourselves, the mick out of ourselves, and just be proud of who we are, or like what we are. I guess that's probably the best way to do it. Like, because we are our own worst enemy. Or that's what I felt like there. Everyone does something and everyone takes the mick out of themselves. So that's what I think.
So you guys, like I say, just before we move on from that, you put together a good team. I've heard that a lot of that was down to the social media manager at Last Remedy at the time, Rachel Dean, or Sona Bona, as she's known in the UK scene. What is that true? And I guess you were still sort of manager, so you were still having to work with all these people.
I
Right?
mean, yeah, I'm happy to like clear up like exactly what happened. Like, so Louis, who was the business partner, the two of us were the ones who ran the team. So he was like the team manager, and I sort of tried to run the org, but we were 50-50. Sona was a really good friend of Louis, so she just helped us on the media side, and she knew a lot of contacts. That is why we were able to talk to people we were in the beginning.
Right.
So I think like the original team we picked up, which had people like Svene and people like that who were like quite high level already, she was the one who very much helped us with that, and that sort of got our name. That got us to qualify, and that got our name on, out there, I guess. From there, then it was just like a case of like me and Louis just meshing people. So the final team we ended up with was me and Louis. It wasn't what she did, but because she'd done it originally, everyone just assumed. But like, I got Toaster because I just messaged Toaster and just went, "Hey, can we chat?" I think it became a bit of a meme of like, "Hi, I'm Grant from Last Remedy," because that's how I got Zoran, Toaster, and Broxer. I just messaged them, like Broxer and Zoran I just picked up off the ladder. And just messaged them saying, "Hey, have you got a team right now?" And like had a chat with them. And then Toaster, I said like, "Look, here's the plan. This is what we wanted as a team. Are you interested?" Choke was like on the edge at the time. And they went, "Yeah, I'm interested." So she helped with the original team. And like when we were desperate, we needed subs for days. She was really good at helping us, but she didn't actually help put the main team together. But I thank her so much, because without her, we wouldn't have even qualified or got our name out there in the first place. So she was really good for us.
So Broxer, was he? I don't actually know. Was he on a team before you approached him, or did you sort of find him?
I think he'd done like some lands with I can't remember exactly. Like, he was doing some lands with the Danish team, and like he was trying to get his name out there and that kind of thing. And I think he just left the team, if I remember correctly. And he played in Challenge Series before, so he was like a known name with FM eSports or someone like that. So he was known in that sense, but he'd gone a bit quiet since. And me and Louis were just staying up to like 4 or 5 a.m. every night trying to get this team together, and we were just meshing people on the ladder, and we saw him and we saw, damn, that's like a really good like a set of champions he plays, and like some really good stats. So we messaged him, I looking for the team, that kind of thing, got the opportunity to talk with him and just gave him our vision and what we wanted to do. And he just said, "Okay, well, I'm looking for a challenger team, but I will play for you guys until that actually happens." And it just so happened that like he ended up playing for us, and the more he played for us, like the more he wanted to do it. And you know, it's worked out really well for him. Like, he's now with Fnatic, so I'm really glad for him.
Cool. Okay, so one last thing before I move on from all the drama stuff. I promise I will move on.
That's fine. That's fine.
I've got to ask this, but I've heard that your LinkedIn page a while ago may have had some little white lies on it, saying that you guys had won the UK Premiership, which wasn't true. Now, to fight your corner for this one, when I was at uni, I was told by a lot of people that, you know, it's not always a bad thing to put little white lies on your CV and things like that to get noticed. Not that I advocate that, of course. So what happened there? Is that true?
I got carried away. Let's say that. I got carried. Look, let's put it this way. You know, no, you have to sell yourself as a person. And yes, I got carried away, but I was trying to find a full-time job in esports. So I was trying to see what I could do, you know, and I had this, it wasn't, sorry, just esports. Like, I was looking for a full-time job coming out of university and seeing what I could do. And, you know, that kind of thing out, because like, you know, prospective employers may see that and, you know, just have a quick read through. So yes, it did completely embellish the truth, and I realized my mistake now, and it was stupid, but, I was just trying to help myself. So, you know, and like, it's one of those, like, for me, it felt like a harmless lie, but actually once a couple of people saw that, I realized how stupid it was. So, you know, I'm happy to admit my mistake there.
Well, look, not everyone does it, but look, there's people on The Apprentice.
I recommend you should do it, but maybe not as far as I took it, but yeah.
Okay, cool. So, so all that's out the way. What do you think makes a great coach? You know, you've kind of given advice to prospective coaches, but what makes a great coach? You know, it's more than just game knowledge in esports, isn't it? It's really about pulling everyone together. It's almost quite hard to put into words.
It is. I think the best way I described it, which is how I described CLG, is that like there's two sides to it. There's like the complete leadership teaching style of like, okay, here's what you need to do, this is what you must be like, and this is everything that makes a good person, and you just tell them. And there's that side of it, and you need to find the balance of that side with like the empathy and the personality of the person. So you need to tailor the way you talk to each individual, and you need to be able to see stuff from their perspective. And it's a really fine line between the two, and you just have to literally through practice and through like trying and seeing what works and what doesn't, find where that line is. Probably the best way to say it.
Sure. And now that you've gone from a UK org, the UK scene, to an LCS team, I know it might sound like a stupid question, but how does it compare? Because I know it's going to compare drastically. But what can UK orgs realistically learn from the likes of CLG, considering the huge difference in funding and setup?
I mean, it's very hard to put a lot of things with the fact that everyone's in the house and full time and together. Like that for me is the biggest difference. It's not even like the money in that. It's the fact that you can have 5 people in the same room practicing together and be able to talk to them and tell them what they need to go through. That's the hardest thing. I mean, what I'd relate back to the UK scene is it's hard, like with nobody wants to do full time, but if you can make points in the week where all 5 of you are together and you're all able to like review videos, like don't just play games, but like review videos and like talk as a group as a 5, I think that's the most important thing you can do over there. So like something I did at Bulldog, which I think worked, is like, I'm sure people do this anyway, but like we got to know each other as people. So, you know, we became really good friends, and some of these guys had never met each other. And like, I still talk to all the Bulldog guys and watch them play on Wednesdays in the UK National League, and we all still talk and have a laugh. And there's like 7, 8 of us. So if you can just bring everyone together and just make them enjoy what they're doing, that's the first step completed already.
Bulldog, who I'll quickly add, should definitely change their Twitter handle from Bulldog Sports to Bulldog eSports with an uppercase E. In hindsight, you know, talking about the UK scene again, do you have any sort of regrets from your time there, or when you reflect back on your time, what did you learn and take with you from the UK scene?
I mean, it's going to sound quite crazy to say, but actually I wouldn't change anything. Like, what happened at Last Remedy made me such a better person, I guess. Like, I was quite cocky, I was quite arrogant at the time, and like I was just bullying a china shop, and I'd seen what people had done and how I thought you should be in esports, and I just like tried to copy that, and it was just so stupid that I just like tried to create drama and try to get memes at the time, or was happy to, you know, embellish stuff, because I felt that's what people did and what you were meant to do in that kind of thing. And once I calmed down, realized that was a bit stupid and dumb. Like, I realized how much I'd learned, and then when Bulldog gave me another chance, and I tried to do it so much better, and I think it clearly came across that like things had improved a lot and how it was worked, and I was so grateful for a second chance. And yeah, I wouldn't change anything, because I feel I just learned so much about my character and myself about it, and just feel that I genuinely became a better person because of it. And now I've ended up here, so it's worked out.
No, it's a really good, honest answer, mate. And you know, in your defence, I think, you know, some of the characters and people in the UK scene, I think, compared to them, when you came into the scene, I saw you as like not faultless character, but someone who's very bright and optimistic. I think that's something the scene is lacking in general, is optimism, positivity. You know, it's almost this defeatist attitude. So I thought that was good for you to come along. Like, look, we all make mistakes. I think that was a good answer. You learnt from it, and because that's what it's all about as well, right? And coaching is identifying your mistakes and learning from them.
I mean, everyone always says, "Oh, the best thing you can do as a player is just like learn from when you lose games." But if you're not doing that as a coach, you're not improving as a coach either. And I think that's what sometimes people forget.
Yeah, definitely. So looking at CLG then specifically, you guys have 3 defeats and a win so far, and you've got TSM this weekend, so that's going to be tough. How do you feel the team can do this split?
Honestly, I think they can win the split. Like, genuinely. I think it's been a tough first few weeks, but if you look at CLG in the past, this is what they always do. So no, I genuinely think, like, because of their synergy and the fact they've stayed together for so long, a lot of people have said that's a good thing, and then a lot of people said that's a bad thing. Like, there's no in the middle. But I think because of that, along with the talent that we have, and certain players have improved a lot from what I've seen, just from when I watched last year to, you know, what I'm seeing now, I genuinely think they have a shot winning split. And the fact is, on Sunday, when we lost to C9, C9 are meant to be the favourites for this split by like a mile, and everyone's putting them first. And literally, it was so unbelievably close. It really could have gone either way, you know, 2-1 in like the final game is 50 minutes. So I think that shows that we're capable.
I've got to ask as well, like, what's it like working alongside league veterans like Aframu? You know, was that weird for you as a coach, so someone they're supposed to look up to, and you're meeting someone who, you know, you
I
might
look up
have
to.
watched, you're looking up to as well. So
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
that like?
It was very daunting at first. That I remember walking in the first time, and it was almost like I just had like a blinkers on. I just couldn't focus on anyone else but the players in the room. I was trying to say hi, and it was just like mumbling. But I don't know. Like, I think because yes, they're veterans, and yes, it's been a long while, but they understand the benefit of a coach, and they understand the benefit of what different opinions and people can bring. And because I'm the only like changing influence in the team this year, the coach are the same, analysts are the same, players are the same. I think they just appreciate like a slightly different opinion coming in. I mean, ultimately, I'm quite lucky because I'm not coming in a position where I'm directly working with the game. I think it would be slightly different if that was the case, because a coach to come in and say, right, here's how you're going to play the game. Then there'd be a bit, but because I'm working on their player development and doing a lot more one-on-one work with them, I think they appreciate it a lot more because they haven't really had a lot of that recently.
I wanted to ask this, Grant. It's not sort of esports, but kind of esports related. There's a few publications that have written stories on it. What is the US like at the moment in such a heated political climate? You know, is that affecting anything you've been doing in general, or anything in the LCS, or anyone you've spoken to?
I mean, that's a good question. Like, it's definitely affecting the LCS as a whole because there's certain things that are coming in and affecting certain players and people. So, for instance, you know, the ban the other day where people couldn't come in and out, like that had to be rotated around because, for instance, the finals are in Vancouver. So if we go to the finals and then come back, you know, you could not be letting or some crap like that. But it does, as a team, we're lucky. Like, none of it has affected us as a team. None of it affects us as a group. So, yeah, we're seeing this happen, and everyone's just like, this is just absolutely nuts. You know, it's happening, I guess, but it doesn't affect us.
Have you seen any sort of arguments happening between?
Not in the stuff. Like, I think as you know, the nature of our team and who we are, and like, people don't tend to talk about politics, or when it does come up, everyone's on the same page, which is, you know, this is just all crazy.
Yeah.
But no, it's been quite fortunate. No one's really that kind of personality, I guess. So it's been fine.
So is that a real challenge for you guys then? If you go to the finals in Vancouver, I would have thought you'd be able to easily get temporary visas for that.
It's not. It's more like getting back in. We're in a position as a team where like it doesn't really affect us. So for us, it won't be an issue at all.
Right. Okay.
But obviously for LCS as a whole, there are certain players it could affect, I guess. But for us, it's fine.
Okay. Cool. And what are your sort of views on the opposition this split as well?
I think there's a lot of talent this split. Like, we've seen a lot of like high level imported talent come in, and I think a lot of people have improved. Some good rookies coming in. I definitely think the league is much stronger than last year. And you know, where it's always been like a top 2 or 3, I think like this year it's like a sort of top 5 or so, maybe top 6. So yeah, I just think the talent's much higher. I think the summer split is going to be the most competitive because I think those who have come in, once the synergy comes together and the communication works, I think the summer split is going to be extremely competitive.
Cool. Okay. And
Should be.
last couple of questions, Grant. Like, what do you think the UK scene needs to do? And what are your views on it in general, UK esports?
I mean, I think it's getting there. Like, I think ESL are really helping. Like, the Premiership's being run brilliantly this year. I think the setup's really good for it. And, you know, there are more tournaments coming. ESL are sort of teasing about this other tournament or something or other. So there's clearly other stuff happening. I go back to what I said before. I think the UK scene just needs to take itself more seriously. Like, appreciate the fact that you guys are capable. And I don't know, it felt like there was this feeling that people who played in the UK scene felt they just couldn't go anywhere, and like almost like the UK scene was just some sort of large sort, like you're better off playing in Spain or German leagues. But actually, we've proved this year that you can go on to higher levels. So just take yourself a bit more seriously. Don't meme yourself and meme other people, I guess, where possible, and just, you know, understand that there are contacts and there are people there to help you.
And I think it might be an exception, but Alfari's proved that if you're good enough,
exactly.
Player,
I mean, that team as a whole, yeah. I mean, you know, we have UK players playing at that level now, and yeah, Alfari's proved that. Even in a team where they have wanted to perhaps bring in certain players to bring a high level, they've gone, wow, here's a really good player. Okay, we're keeping him regardless.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what, Grant? Those are most of my questions. You answered them really well. You didn't waffle on. There were some people I've chatted to. Richard Lewis and that. Well, not saying it was a good interview, but it was a nightmare for me to edit because it was like hours and hours. But is there anything else you want to add, or anything about your time, your background, what you're doing, or your views on League of Legends?
I mean, all I want to say is it's just like, thank you to the UK scene for like taking me on in the first place and giving me the chance I gave, and without that I wouldn't be here I am. And then thank you to CLG for giving me a shot and a chance, and hopefully I can show what I can bring to the table, and hopefully you'll be seeing here in 8-9 weeks time and looking at CLG at the top of the board. So just thank you to everyone who's helped me along the way and helped me learn and helped me grow.
Cool. Excellent. Thanks very much for your time, Grant, and
so much.
Cheers, guys, for watching. For more news on UK League of Legends, do visit esports-news.co.uk, and there's other social media links in the description to this video. Cheers.